The pulse of Nigerian politics, right here on Active Citizens. I'm your host, Sharon Enenchuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me my co-host, Ifoma Oji, and our guest, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Good morning. How are you all doing today? Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Daniel. All right, we're going straight to the stories that we have for today. First, President Tinubu is calling for the immediate rescue of the remaining 115 children and teachers still in captivity after 100 of the abducted students were released and received by the Niger state government. Families are relieved but anxious, and the pressure on security agencies has doubled. Second, a diplomatic storm is brewing after Burkina Faso detained 11 Nigerian military officers and impounded a Nigerian aircraft over what they call unauthorized entry into their airspace. Now, the incident has raised questions about regional cooperation, communication breakdowns, and the safety of military operations across borders. Now, these are the stories making headlines, and that is what we're going to be discussing right here on Active Citizens. But we're starting with what happened in Niger State, as it is a continuous conversation from what we had yesterday, talking about the release of the Niger State school children, 100 of them. And I remember yesterday, we were talking about even the certainty of this release and the need to see pictures and videos. Well, the Nigerian state government has provided videos and pictures as well of the rescued school children. But one thing is clear is that a lot of people have been saying, we saw from Kanu yesterday, saying that they've not gotten an official report that this 100 school children have really been released. And a lot of people are asking, why is it that for this particular rescue, the details are a bit vague? Ifoma.
Okay, is the way you're asking me the question like I'm the security agency?
No, of course, you can give your comments on that.
I'm among those people that are equally asking the same question. Now, about 100 of them that have been rescued is to an extent a relief. I mean, a family, or rather a child save, is more like a family spared from grievances and pain, and a community to an extent being restored. But where the caveat lies here is that we have serious incomplete rescue. We have over 115 people still in captivity, and they are still unaccounted for. Until these people that are still abducted are safely returned, living healthy and with dignity, the trauma persists, for families and for the entire public. Now, we remember when this happened in that should be November 21st. Everybody was in shock, because we remember the incidents that happened with Chibok girls in 2014. It was as if this whole incident was something that was going to replay in Nigeria again. I remember how we wanted the presidency to, swiftly respond to this. And to an extent, for the fact that we've seen 100 people, it shows, okay, to an extent they are working. But at the same time, we're not supposed to be gambling with people's lives. Which one is 100 people are being released and 115 people are still left
maybe they were not in the same camp
captivity? I don't know, but they shouldn't. My own is they shouldn't be playing, politics or all this thing with these children. These children have really truly gone through a lot of trauma. I don't know what those of them that are still in captivity are going to be feeling at this point, where some people have been reunited with their families, and they too, they are still left in captivity. Come on, it's quite traumatic.
When we looked at the ceremony, sort of, where the school children were being, the governor of Niger State was there as well. I think we'd love to take a look at that video so that we can come back and now give a whole comment on what happened yesterday.
Excellency, Deputy Governor of Niger State, distinguished senators and president, members of the House of Representatives, our traditional rulers here present, sons, chiefs here present, our brothers from the Kanu, they are here, the parents of these children here too, members of my cabinet, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today, is fundamental and very, very important.
Can we step back, I beg?
Redefining the history of this state. I want to thank Mr. President
Let's come forward.
for giving us all the necessary input to rescue these children. I want to thank the NSA and every other person that has been responsible in the recovery of these children. I want to thank development partners here, the UNICEF and others also. Well, thank you all. And for those that have been praying, continue to pray. We wish to recover the remaining students that are still in captivity, and by the grace of God, in a very short time from now, we're going to record them, inshallah. I want to reassure parents and guardians of these children that they will be safely delivered to them very, very soon. We have called our medical health workers to come and look at them. They will be checked properly and before taking them back to the parents. We are working closely with Kanu to make sure that they are safely returned back home. Let me thank you, everybody, for staying this just to receive these people. It's very, very important that we all stay here to visit them. And I'm emotionally broken down because I saw their sizes, I saw their ages, you know, but it's not for today. Thank you, and God bless you.
I'm done. What are you not done?
We just saw that video all the way from Niger State, where the governor was addressing people as they received the 100 school children that have just been released now. And when I saw an interview, a report from an Arise correspondent in Niger State, he said that the reason why we could see the memo of the state governor like that, because the complete school children are yet to be released. And even though we're excited about their release, in Niger State there is a mixed reaction as the families of the kids and people who are still in captivity are beginning to, you know, feel left out, and they are feeling mounting pressure, to say, on the government, as they should. But let's get your take, Mr. Daniel Sacramento.
All right. Well, we want to say kudos to, once again, we talked about them yesterday. Want to say give kudos to the government for doing everything humanly possible to bring back these kids to reunite them with their parents. Talking about what's going on there in Niger State, it's very funny. It's very, very funny. And the governor there has been, you know, he said he's the one that knows where bandits are. And if given the opportunity by that, he cannot control. Now it has happened in his state. So perhaps he might have led the, what's it called, the military people to go and rescue the remaining parts of the students that are remaining, I guess. So I think the government should do things. How do I put this? I think the government, like we have been saying about the insecurity going on there, the Senate, you could see that ever since the Senate said they are asking about 1.44 billion that was missing.
Yes, for the safe school. For
the safe school stuff. Up till now, we've not been able to hear from them again.
That's true.
And I told you that this is absolutely a sham. Because if they are serious, by now, we would have
gotten an update.
What's actually going on from the Senate. So, well, all still the same. They should come up, like we discussed yesterday, the school, the government, the security should all come together and tell us how far they have gone to know how to bring back the remaining students that are remaining. And I'm saying, I saw a video where they say it's about 253 students.
Oh, you saw 53? I think
Yes.
I saw 315.
I saw 253.
12 staff,
Now,
303 students.
now we have 50 that has come back. We have 100 that has come back. So how many is remaining?
So I just did the maths now. So according to them,
115.
so it's 115 that's in the bush, right? But what that means from the government point of view is that the total number of people that were abducted is 265, because we have 50 that...
How many?
265 by the
65
government.
by the government.
Yes, because we have 50 that came back, that ran away. We have 100 now, that is making it 150, right? They say they have 115 still in captivity. That is 265. But what we're getting is that there are over 300. So we don't even understand why the numbers are not...
That's what I'm saying. Now, you know, when we were discussing yesterday, after the program, somebody told me that maybe the government do not want the school to release the numbers of the actual number of the students that were abducted. But also the same, I didn't really see the reason for that, because already the principal of the school has come on board to say 300 students were abducted.
Yes.
And now, if it was 300 that was adopted, then 150 has been released. So we're talking about 150 of the students.
Yeah, we also have teachers as well.
And
12 teachers
So
were abducted.
14.
Oh, 12 teachers.
Yeah.
You see, this is really a shame. A shame in the sense that, so while all this adoption was all going on, there was no security. There was nobody that was able to take their phone to call.
Which number would you call?
No, they have the security number. So you see, the truth about it is that we, the citizens, are being used in this scenario because they've not really come on board to tell us the actual thing that is going on. This is business for some people. So how did they transport 300 and something with bike? How many bikes came?
How many?
Or how many trailers?
The operation, it lasted for 3 good hours. So they tracked those people.
That's what we're saying. That's
so even where is the school? Is the school inside a thick forest that they were all living and nobody saw them?
You know that some parents came out to say that when they got the news that there was something going on, they came to, get their kids. On their way, they saw them trekking. They saw the people they saw them trekking inside the bush. Because I thought about it as well. How will you fit over 300 people in a what I call it, a bike or a motorcycle?
How many were they carrying?
There was this video I saw online. This is it Brekete TV about this guy, a lady, a girl. She's still in secondary school, senior secondary school now. She was kind of detailing or giving her own experience of how she was abducted years ago, and she said that they trekked for complete 24 hours. So this actually happens that these people actually trekked for hours. She said almost the entire school was abducted. And they trekked for hours.
like headsmen.
I don't understand this. So when these people are being taken, does it mean nobody sees them?
For that long period of time.
That's what I'm trying to say. So does it mean, that's the angle, because these are the questions, the pertinent questions that we need to ask. So does it mean nobody sees them, nobody had gunshots, nobody,
because they killed people.
So there was nobody that called. So these are pertinent questions that needs to be asked. Now, I believe there should be checkpoints within or very close by.
I like that you mentioned that, because this December, on your way to the east, you will see millions of checkpoints here and there. But when we have insecurity, we don't know if there are as much checkpoints in those areas, because it doesn't seem that there is at this point anymore. Just to wrap it up on this conversation, because there's a whole lot going on now, even internationally and regionally, right? Yesterday we talked about Benin Republic. Today is Burkina Faso. But before we move to Burkina Faso, right, just to round up this conversation, Wow. To the families that their kids are yet to be returned, there's still another question that I have, and I don't know who is going to answer. The fact that all of them were abducted the same day, but we're having different release dates, it doesn't add up. The fact that we have 100 kids that were released, whereas the government, even if they are saying it's 265, they know that 115, according to them, is still in the bush. How did they go? Why are we lacking transparency when it concerns how our security agencies are going about this release? Is it that they were not in the same camp? They didn't see everybody when they came to rescue, or are they paying for these?
Sharon,
rescue?
you should no. The Ebetokun has come out. The IG of police have come out to tell you that these are classified informations. These are no information that you can just come out.
I like that you said that. Yes, because Burkina Faso.
Exactly. I was coming to what happened in Benin Republic, how the president was able to send troops immediately, swiftly, let me use that word, swiftly, to go and bomb that place and stop whatever was going, the coup attempt that was going on there. And I remember when we talked about this, why is it that same swift response was not carried out when these children were actually abducted
in your own local environment?
The honest truth is that we argue every single time that we are a sovereign state, that we are the giant of Africa.
I like your
the giant of mosquitoes at this point, because a situation whereby our government cannot provide accountability, a situation whereby our government does not even have complete data of how many people were abducted, or even the statistics of people that have lost their lives in Nigeria, a government that compares its citizens or insecurity situations with that of America. How do you reason that these people actually use it? But at the end of the day, I think at this particular point, this whole thing about mass abduction should come to an end. There should be security overhaul in all the schools. I think the Senate actually probed or are asking questions about the SSI, the Safe School Initiative. What happens? What's the follow-up? What's the implementation? Who is being held accountable? These are the questions that we need to ask. These children need to be protected, for crying out loud. We cannot take away the fact that a lot of people have been plugged to pain. A lot of people are going through pain on a daily. Now 100 students have been released. What about the remaining 150? Let's call it 150. If they are not more.
Let me tell you something. Let me comment there. The truth about it is that one of the things we lack in Nigeria is transparency. And that is the bedrock of the corruption we're talking about. Now, when things happen, yes, most of the times, the government think they are doing a damage control. They want to do a kind of damage control to fix things, not to come out properly to tell Nigerians how it is. Now, it becomes, they think that in their own part, but it becomes a kind of indictment on their part when Nigerians finds out themselves
the truth. Because you cannot hide it.
Because definitely you can't hide it. So it becomes an indictment on them. So the truth about the whole matter is that they know they are negotiating with these so-called bandits.
Yes.
In releasing these kids batch by batch. And you remember this was what happened during Chibok girls. They were released by batch by batch. You remember this was what happened in Dapchi or somewhere there when one of the girls was never released, who was asked to denounce her religion, and she refused. And that was the last till date. Nobody has heard about her up to now. So the truth about it is this, that we need transparency in the country.
We do.
And playing games with people's security, with bringing in politics in every aspect, it's not worth it. You know why they do this? Because their children are not involved. So if their children are part and parcel of this, maybe would have been discussing a different story.
A different story altogether.
So.
All right, that's that. I really like the fact that when we're having this conversation, Ifeoma mentioned something that is actually tied to the next and final story. It is what happened in Burkina Faso. So we are seeing that Burkina Faso has come out to announce that it detained 11 Nigerian officers. It impounded an Air Force aircraft. And the reason is that they were unauthorized entry. So the Nigerian Air Force gained unauthorized entry to Burkina Faso. Now, in a statement issued late Monday, they have described that the aircraft was carrying 2 crew members and 9 passengers, all of whom were later identified as Nigerian military officers. Now, they have come out to strongly condemn that incident, describing it as a violation, one, of its airspace and national sovereignty. Now, this sovereignty, right, it's my take home, right, because we saw that when the United States president came out to talk about intervening with our security issues, one word that we heard that was constant was Nigeria is a sovereign nation, and you can't just come in here and bomb anywhere you want to or do whatever you want to do. But look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. Let me start with you, Mr. Daniel.
Okay, first, the Burkina Faso military junta, the young guy there, is trying to make headlines.
You think?
Yes, he's trying to make headlines. That's the truth about it. Now, the story from them, not from Nigeria, but from them, says there was an emergency landing.
Yes.
So what it means is that the aircraft might have developed a fault. Now, saying they didn't clear them is a false statement.
Why do you say
now?
that?
Because you use the tarmac, you communicate. The tarmac communicates. If nobody responds to an aircraft or to a pilot from a tarmac, that is when you say that there is a crash, because he doesn't see. I don't know if you understand. You must be cleared to enter into people's territory.
So, but you're saying now that they cleared them and they're coming out to say they didn't
Yes,
clear them.
that's why I'm telling you that this guy is trying to make it. Let me tell you the truth. Go and ask. Make your verification. Now they're just trying to say, okay, this is not what they would have said is that your landing wasn't official. But if saying that they were not, you can't fly in. It's as if a plane coming from United States to Nigeria without the tarmac in Murtala Mohammed International Airport. The plane will crash. Because definitely you must communicate that I have issues. Please, we need emergency landing. So when they now land, what I think they are trying to do is this. Remember that Nigeria is in ECOWAS that sanctioned them. Although after much, the sanction was lifted, and they said they were no longer in ECOWAS. Now, another thing I'm saying there, one of the things I'm looking at is that the guy is trying to say, okay, these are military people. Maybe there is something they have at the back of their mind coming in. Either they're coming in for espionage or something. But telling us that they were not cleared to land, I will not subscribe.
You don't buy that?
No, I don't buy that. It's not possible. So definitely you're now saying maybe the landing is the issue, that it wasn't for an official thing. We didn't invite 2 people. It's quite different. That's a different case. But tarmac must communicate, and it's in the international law of aviation where when a plane develops fault, you will land at the nearest airport. Nearest airport. No matter where you are, you need to communicate and say that this plane, the flight that is coming to say, has an issue. Otherwise, that flight will declare Mayday. And once it declares a Mayday, that is crash.
Okay.
Whenever you hear a pilot say it's Mayday, that's crash.
Okay, so Ifeoma, let's get your take as well on this particular news we're getting from Burkina Faso, because let's also recall that in Benin Republic we saw a coup attempt that was failed, right? And then we also saw the involvement of the Nigeria state government, and even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out to boldly say that it was heavily involved in ensuring that democracy was restored to Benin Republic. And now we're seeing in Burkina Faso. What's your take, really?
So quickly, I might not really know the terminologies involved in plane crashing and the rest of them, but I think Mr. Sacramento has given us a holistic view of that. And now to my just simple take on the particular case. Now this Burkina Faso that we are talking about, since 1960 that they gained independence, have experienced a lot of coups, about 6 to 7 of them. I don't know, I think I've lost count. And it's funny how they come out and they talk about how sovereign they are, the state or the country is, and I'm like, you people have serious political instabilities. You've been ousting your present government and installing new ones, ousting and installing new ones. So at the end of the day, you ask, where is democracy at the middle of or at the end of everything? And then coming to this whole encroachment of space or airspace or whatever they call it, I think for me, I would told the part of I think you shouldn't encroach into people's space or into people's country or their airspace without authority or without permission. So I think to a very large extent, if the information that we are getting from the president is kind of distorted, maybe we still need to hear from the military people that landed in their airspace. You understand? We need to still hear from them, but at the same time, I think it is quite, should I say, unprecedented that you just encroach in people's space without permission,
authorization. But also one shocking thing that we're seeing here is how fast Burkina Faso responded. Right, they went ahead to detain 11 Nigerian officers. They impounded an Air Force aircraft, and they came out to put that in the news and publicize what is going on. So that's where I find it a bit fishy if they came out to do all of these things, and indeed, like if what Mr. Daniel Sacramento said is true, Nigerian military did gain permission to enter their airspace, but them coming out now to detain 11 Nigerian officers, putting this in the news, what message do you think it's passing, and how do you think the Nigerian government should respond?
Well, they are really, like I said, the young man that is there is trying to gain popularity, and I don't think it is worth it. If he's a military man to the core, you see Nigerian aircraft that has an emergency landing in your airspace. It shouldn't be something to raise an eyebrow all over. You find out why they landed in your airspace. Why? Because, like I said, no flight will land without permission. That should be established anywhere.
Okay.
So, but the motive behind now the landing should be what they should verify. Then you communicate directly with the federal government. And if they give you a very good reasons and stuff like that, in fact, because the man there, is an illegal president. He's an illegal president. Yes, he's an illegal president. He overthrew a government. So he should communicate with the military of Nigeria and discuss what really happened. And this shouldn't, like I said, it shouldn't be something we should come over the...
Are you scared that maybe he thinks they're trying to restore democracy in Burkina Faso? Maybe there's...
Maybe that is it, because, he who throws, how do they say that?
Who lives in a glass house
doesn't throw stones. So definitely he might be that afraid to know if they are they came for espionage or something else. So if you find out that there is nothing like that, then you release the stuff. Otherwise, maybe he's attracting... he's looking out for something different, which might not be palatable.
Wow, maybe he's looking out for something different that's not palatable.
And you can't compare their military might with the Nigerian military might.
Which one is more?
No, we are bigger than Burkina Faso.
We are
bigger than them.
So you don't even think they stand a chance if they're trying to...
No, they shouldn't even think, in as much as they have relationship with Russia, they shouldn't even think towards that angle. Because now they are in their enemies with France. So you know that our president was in France.
Yes.
So that is one of the reasons the young man is trying to...
You are calling him a young man.
He's very young. This guy is 32.
Okay.
And he took over power.
But the youth in power.
No, but that is
in this particular conversation, I don't know if you've seen the comment section, but Jesus Christ.
The comment section I saw the comments.
Hold them very well.
Nigerians are very
people. In every state. Hold them
a lot of us in the country don't really know so many things about airways.
Yes.
Yes. Now, on a normal, if a plane takes off and they develop a fault, maybe you've left the state where you're coming from, you left the country where you're coming from, you have to communicate to the tarmac. The tarmac will now communicate to the nearest country, connect you there to tell them that this plane needs to be, there's going to be an emergency landing. So what they do is to clear the airwaves so that there will not be any plane crash or plane missing. So the nearest country is where you're going to land.
What were they doing in that area?
Yeah, that is what the Burkina Faso people. No, the Burkina Faso is West Africa. Yeah, so definitely they took off going to somewhere and something emergency happened. So that is it.
They kidnapped.
We shouldn't make our jokes out of it. The truth about it is that in as much as we have insecurity, it doesn't stop our military or ever, if they have anything they need to go to, attend to that they wouldn't go to.
Yeah,
so that
I understand, yes, but I think what Nigerians are saying is that it should make us priority, not other nations.
But they didn't do any. No,
I understand. I'm just saying for
and again, what happened in Benin Republic? Let me tell you the truth. It is imperative that the Nigerian reacted the way they did. Benin is the closest country to Nigeria. I don't know if you are aware.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yes.
Yeah,
now,
very close.
If you close your eye to some certain things, it's going to affect you. And that is why they responded quickly, knowing fully well that Christopher Musa, who left, when they were retired, there was an atom of mutiny. I don't know if you understand now.
Okay.
Now, if the president of Nigeria closes his eye to it, you don't know who is going to hit.
Who is going to be next? I know what
so
you're
they
saying.
had to intervene.
I get that.
Immediately. So that these people will know that this thing mustn't happen.
So are you telling me, because I have two questions, Ifoma, right? So that we wrap it up. There are two questions that I have. Are you saying now that the Nigerian government is more scared of a military coup than it is of losing its citizens? That's one, from what Mr. Daniel is saying. And number two as well, how should the Nigerian government respond to this? Because we're yet to hear anything from the Nigeria, part of their own speech as well. So
maybe today we are going to hear it.
So I think you've actually stated it clearly that they are more interested in responding to the coup, because at the end of the day, this is more like Benin Republic is more like backyard in Nigeria. So if anything like coup attempt happens, it might trickle or spill over to Nigeria. So the present government is going to try as much as possible to thwart anything that has to do with coup, so that it will not spill over to Nigeria. And then as regards to the other question that you asked, maybe you can
okay, no, I'm just asking, right?
Okay, their response. Well, these are military personnel that are being, held in captivity over there. So I think most definitely the president is going to send out statements to the present administration there to see if they can see to the release of these our soldiers there. But I will just say this in quite maybe a humorous way. Nothing should happen to our soldiers there. If anything happens to our soldiers there, Burkina Faso is going to see the reason why we are called Giant of Africa.
All right, I like that we are going to wrap this up today, and we're looking forward to really what's going to be the response of the Nigerian government for this particular Burkina Faso accusation, saying they did not get authorization before entering their airspace, and we'll see what happens after that. But on the Niger State security issue, we're also looking forward to the other rescues, right? And we want the numbers to add up, both from the government and from St. Mary's Primary School in Niger State. But this is what we're calling it a wrap. Thank you, Mr. Daniel Sacramento, to my co-host, Ifoma Oji, for joining me in the studio today for this conversation. Remember, the conversation can still continue by dropping your comments in the comments section and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you're yet to follow us across all social media, this is the best time to do so. Follow us at Active Citizens across all media, and you can find me as well at Sharon NM and Jiri Foma.
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at MrLex.
Mr. Daniel, always in the studio. So we'll see you later today. Do have a good morning.